Hello fellow friends of YouTube. The Davanti Terratoura all-terrain tyres, their wet weather performance review or trial period is well and truly past. Third weekend of July 2023. If you're watching this recently, you know, last weekend, horrendous weather in the UK. I spent most of the weekend in my tent at a festival, Santa Pod, Bug Jam. If you were there, you know what I mean. And then we had racing on the Sunday, so I watched that as much as possible, leaving me with a 6 p.m. leave to come home. 4-hour trip starting at 6 p.m. I was tired. I'd been in a tent for 3 days. And the weather is horrendous. And I was in the mood where you just want everything to work and no problems. You just want your car to work, no silly lights. You want your wipers to work, that's fine. So my wipers were on maximum for a lot of the trip. Been raining all weekend, so by the time I was going up the M1, M6, whatever roads, M54, flooding on the hard shoulders and flooding in the centre. Is it a centre reservation? So the flooding had started to come from the centre into the fast lane and also from the hard shoulder. And I was doing this, you know, getting dark, in the dark, very tired. You know, want to get home, 70 mile an hour all the way home. I was hitting a lot of standing water, having to brake, poor visibility, people changing lanes without looking. All, you know, you've all been there yourself, you know what it's like. And the tyres were fine, no problem. High speed, change of directions, braking, they were very, very smooth on the trip. Some of it was like driving through a storm. I feel very happy, very secure and confident in these tyres. Nothing wrong with their wet weather on-road ability whatsoever. I haven't had all-terrain tyres. Well, I guess I've had, what have I had? Like the Discovery Cooper things on a Land Rover. On a Land Rover 110, you know, how, you know, in real world driving, how hard you push a Land Rover 110, I don't know. But on this XC60 Volvo, do you know what I mean? D5, it's a bit of a rocket ship really. If you put it into sport mode and put your foot down, beyond normal revs, the thing just starts. I mean, that D5 5-cylinder diesel, it just starts singing. And I mean, inversely for a diesel, you start revving it higher above your normal driving conditions. I don't know, I'll have to have a look at the BHP and torque graph, but I don't know whatever they've done to the D5, but unlike other diesel engines, you let it rev higher and it starts singing, and there is a lot of torque. So yeah, these XC60 diesels, they can fly, and up and down the motorways they are just mile munching machines. And in that very bad weather, I now have, I think I was quite confident anyway, or I wouldn't have been doing it. But now, after being through that for 3 hours, horrendous conditions, fully tested. I mean, you're getting a lot of spray in the middle lane, and you think, right, I'll just overtake. So we're doing 70. We'd never say we're doing more than 70, but we do a bit of overtaking, and all of a sudden, you're in horrendous weather, you're in the spray of the car in front, and you've got a little bit of a flood coming over the fast lane, and you hit that at massive speed and you have a big impact into the water, and the car didn't move whatsoever. I have experienced aquaplaning, and there was no aquaplaning whatsoever. There is 10 mil of grip on these tyres. They're brand new, so there is a lot of, I suppose, just logic, there is a lot of space for the water to go to, compared to my road tyres that have just come off, that were legal limit, so worn down to the legal limit. They were almost like the palm of your hand. There isn't any space for the water to go, is there? So these Terratoura, Davanti Terratoura all-terrain tyres, 10 mil of grip, hitting standing water at 70, no problem at all. I wouldn't say to go out looking to do that, but you know, you can't pick and choose, and they were fantastic. And as we know, in the UK, we're approaching autumn. We're going to see some big gales, flooding, flash flooding where I live. Well, it happens everywhere, but the flash flooding where I live, it drags half the bloody grass banks and the woodland onto the road, doesn't it? So you've got you're going down the road, and next minute you've got flash flooding, but it's not just water, is it? You got all the debris that hasn't been getting maintained now since COVID. I mean, it is like a jungle out there. It's like a jungle out there, I'm going to say that. So yeah, you get flash flooding, dragging all the crap over the roads. And you know what? Because we go out a lot in the bad weather, it's going to be great, because I've got these all-terrain tyres now, bags of confidence in them, and they are going to tackle whatever we find. Haven't been in any mud yet. That's what I bought them for. Luckily, where I was in Santa Pod, there was a bit of a concrete access road. I wasn't very far off that, so it wasn't like the Santa Pod of days gone by where there was a bit of mud surfing happening behind Volkswagen Beetles. Didn't see any of that this year. But yeah, haven't tested it in mud yet, which is why I've bought them. Because I've been getting stuck in wet fields. So this honeymoon period, where I'm getting happier and happier, might all fall down like a house of cards if I get stuck in some mud with my fantastic new tyres. But I don't, you know, whatever happens, they're going to be better than my road tyres that came off. We'll see, won't we? As soon as I find some mud, we'll get in it. And if you're wondering why I can't find any mud, because where I live is all you can get to with a four-wheel vehicle is tarmac. I mean, any lay-by or bit of grass, even the edges of car parks, bollards, banks, rocks, you name it. I mean, I've got my eyes open all the time. You cannot get to a grass bank. You can't even get to a bit of grass. Never mind a bit of grass on an incline that could get a bit muddy, God forbid. I mean, you know, there are places, I guess, but, you know, I don't want to go green laning. I've got these stupid side skirts on my car, sills, side steps. Never, ever, in 25 years of driving, I've never caught my bodywork of a car. I haven't scratched going in and out of a gate or bollard in a petrol station or anything like that. I've not caught the bodywork of a car in 25 years. Buy this XC60 with side steps on it. I think I've hit them about, I don't know, 10 times in 6 months. I mean, we've got curbs on our usual trips. We know where the curbs are. Rock, a few narrow entrances to car parks with rocks here and stuff. I've caught them loads of times. The girlfriend says it's good because it's protecting the car. I don't really have the brain capacity to really think that one through. Is it protecting the car? Would I not have hit them anyway? Because they are very low and they stick out a lot. But if I take them off, am I going to hit my car? Or am I not going to hit my car? Because I'll have the clearance. I don't know. I don't have the IQ to work that one out, and I'm not going to take them off to test it because I'm happier for my side steps to get dented and scratched than my car. Right, so there you go. Another rambling video from me.